We see the breaking news where Deshaun Watson is going to be traded to the Cleveland Browns, a massive contract that the Browns are handing out in guaranteed money, and an about-face after reports were that he told the Browns he was not going to keep them in the running. Now he's headed to Cleveland, and Baker Mayfield will be traded elsewhere. Your thoughts on Watson choosing Cleveland over the other NFC South options?
I mean, it's crazy, guys. I feel like a liar when I'm sitting here talking to you about this, just thinking like, I thought this was the biggest long shot of all of them. You know, you start factoring in, it was kind of Carolina and New Orleans. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense based upon, you know, you look at his time at Clemson. It's a friendly environment. I think Matt Rule's a really good football coach, that all those things kind of line up and it'll all work right there. So that was something I thought that they had going. New Orleans, pretty good roster. Lots of, you know, they found a way to get some cap space. Also in the South, close to Houston, seemed to check some boxes. Question there was, who was going to ultimately be your offensive coach? How did that all shake out? Sean Payton's not there anymore. And then all of a sudden the wild card in Atlanta comes. And, you know, Atlanta is a city that, you know, for guys from the South, they love it. They love to be there. It's kind of the epicenter, you know, of SEC country. And a lot of guys love to go there. There's great nightlife. You know, it's, you know, rap central for the South. There's a lot of things going on. You talking about guys like Quavo and all these little rap stars calling him, texting him saying, come here. And then you've got Cleveland. And what does Cleveland have to offer? Well, I've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's a place that LeBron James used to play and won a title. I mean, that's really what they can provide. And somehow they ended up being the team that has apparently pulled this off. And, you know, Adam Schefter's reporting it. I don't think that is with his conference, you know, as big as this thing is, and, you know, controversial, maybe even a sense, where I think that there is an element in just being in Ohio and understanding where, you know, there's some serious stuff, guys, that surrounded him. Yeah. And I'm not sitting here saying whether he's guilty or innocent. I know criminally he's basically been absolved. Does that mean he's guilty or I don't know. I know how our court system works, and you know what? This is the way it is. And they didn't even have enough to bring it to trial. So I don't want to push that aside. But there are people in Cleveland who have reached out, people who I've talked to who are longtime Browns fans who have said, you know what? Like, I'm not going to be a Browns fan if he's here. And I'm like, well, wait till he gets to the playoffs, and maybe if he wins the Super Bowl, that'll change. But, you know, there is that element that they do have to factor in. But this would be the biggest thing for the city of Cleveland since LeBron James came back from Miami. I mean, I'm being dead serious about this. To have a quarterback who is a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, a guy you think can win you a Super Bowl, who's had success in college, success in the NFL, and he chooses your team, your city, over the likes of ones that are probably a lot more familiar to him. Like, I don't think that can be understated in the slightest.
So the full terms of the trade that are being reported now, the Texans send Deshaun Watson and a 5th-round pick to Cleveland. In exchange, the Browns will send Houston 3 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. Those are the terms of the trade, and I'm looking to see when these 3rd and 4th-round picks are. I'm assuming they're this year based on the wording of this report. And, you know, you've got the top pick for Cleveland headed to Houston as well this year. Houston can choose not just the quarterback, but they can get the young pieces as they begin the rebuild across their roster with all these picks, Bobby. And the money involved here, this is a Haslam signing. Deshaun Watson, fully guaranteed, 5-year, $230 million contract, and that's $80 million more in guarantees than the previous record for a fully guaranteed contract. So consider everything you just laid out about the behind-the-scenes story of Deshaun Watson that was 2021. He was in full control of this entire trade with the no-trade clause that he had. He got to pick where he wanted to go, and he got a boatload of money at the end of it. And, oh, by the way, he was paid to sit out last year, which he would have done. He wanted out of Houston last year prior to all of this, and now he gets the terms and the team that he wanted. Houston was at his mercy on that.
It's amazing, yeah, because he had the full no trade, so he could dictate where he wanted to go. No one's trading for a guy who doesn't want to go play there. And so you mentioned, you know, it's Haslam. This is your guy, the Tennessean, swinging big. And if you look around the AFC, I mean, look at what you're looking at, Allen. You're looking at Mahomes. You're looking at Burrow in your division. Lamar Jackson, we forgot about him. He was an MVP candidate, MVP winner. You got Russell Wilson coming in Denver. And I honestly think, the ownership and front office looked around like, we've got a good team. And 2 years ago, we were on the doorstep of the AFC Championship. Now we're hovering around 500. Can we beat these other teams that I just mentioned with their quarterbacks as we are currently comprised? And one interesting note, and this is a guy, I like him. I like his mentality. He listens to maybe the media a little too much, but Baker Mayfield's not mentioned in that trade. Former number 1 overall pick, a guy who's from Texas, who played at Oklahoma, who played at Texas Tech. I mean, you would think like, hey, Houston would at least put some value on him. And maybe they wanted him and the Browns think he could get more elsewhere. I don't know. But the fact that he's not going back there to at least kind of keep that thing afloat, like that, I think that speaks a lot maybe to, the situation there, maybe how, the Texans view him, and the fact that Cleveland couldn't slide him into that trade to help, sweeten that value instead of giving up a 3rd round pick. We'll throw Baker in there because I can't imagine them being able to get a whole lot more. But with Matt Ryan probably staying in Tampa now, maybe you could trade him to the Colts. Maybe there's some other options. But it was the musical chairs were all starting to fill up, and it was ultimately who was going to be left out. And that signing, the guaranteed money, the other piece of this is the guarantees on that. And I'm curious how those are worded and how that's all structured. And when that money hits and if they backloaded some of it, because there's still a chance that Deshaun Watson could get suspended for games this year. And so when you get suspended, you're not getting paid. So I'm curious if they push some of that money into the future, which normally as a player you wouldn't want. But in this case, if I can shift a good chunk of it to where that wouldn't be able to be recaptured with suspension, they may have done that as well.